This is the so good for
let's come to order. Got a lot to go over tonight. Appreciate everybody being here. Tonight, of course, is September 13th, 2018. This is the workshop of Lakeview Town Council. The time is 5:35. I have asked Cheryl Ivy if she would lead us in prayer before this meeting.
Dear Lord, please help us to work through all of the issues that we need to work through. Keep us mindful of the work that you would have us do, and to be kind and helpful to one another. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Tony Brady. Here. Nancy Ray. Here. Vivian Bean. Here. Brad Cook.
Here.
Jan Smith. Here. Paul Calhoun.
Here. I want to read, before we start getting into the business, I want to read a letter that we received today. It's to Chief Frederick from Officer Joe Robinson, that's Lima 5. Sir, it is with deep regret that I must resign from my position as a police officer for the town of Lakeview. I greatly appreciate the opportunities afforded to me during my employment with the town, as well as the privilege of working with you. The skills and experience I have gained from my employment here will greatly benefit me as I accept a new position as deputy with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department. It has genuinely been a pleasure serving under your command. My last day of service with the Lakeview Police Department will be Wednesday, September 26th, 2018. Signed, Joel Robinson, bald-headed officer. So that's something we're going to have to be looking at.
Who's going to?
Jefferson County.
Jefferson County.
And he'll be working in the jail. Now, I talked to him, and specifically, you know, he's got a small family at home, a new family, and he is leaving for insurance and benefits.
Oh, of course.
And pay. Same reason we all leave jobs. All right, getting right into discussions. Itemized statements from the mayor's Oklahoma trip. I've tried putting those together, and I'll cooperate with anybody that wants to do the research, call hotels, and try to call the restaurant, that type of thing. I did not keep paper receipts because I knew the credit card statement was going to have the purchases on it, but if more is to be received, I'll cooperate with anybody that wants to backtrack that. Also, please make sure your phones are on vibrate or silent or something. It's always mine that hollers.
What you said that.
Was it coming out or going off?
It's going off.
Oh, okay. Data drug screening for new officer. Data results were received. This was a I'd rather happen here than the big movie. This was a good catch by Detective Brady. We did in fact have a part-time officer that came out and worked at least one shift before his drug screen was completed. This is a very serious issue. I don't have to tell anybody where it could have gone if had he been involved in a shooting or an accident or even a disagreement that turned into something, and him not having qualified in every way based on our requirements. I spent quite a bit of time determining where the communication and chain of custody broke down. I have notified and recorded that, and disciplinary actions have been taken.
And we
And
make,
thank you for catching that.
you said disciplinary actions have been taken, but, obviously, part of it is Eddie's responsibility to make sure he is not put on shift before all those, and that information is done. He does see that. I mean, I don't know, does he see all of the information or get the information in the drug screening, or does it strictly go to you and to the clerk?
Strictly goes to me, and then I disseminate it.
So you'll be the one saying, okay, Eddie, you can put this person on the shift.
That is correct.
Okay. That's fine.
And different amounts of information go out. Cheryl gets a sealed copy of the drug screen, Eddie gets the verbal or the text, email saying he can go. Decal for the building inspector's vehicle. It's been a while, but you had a copy of that, an image of that. And does everybody remember? It was simple, but it was nice.
I remember looking at it when it first came through. So
As I remember, the cost was between $50 and $55, and it was one for each side of the vehicle.
That was for two, that price was for two.
Eliminate my sneaking up on people.
We're thinking about putting straws on it too.
That's right. I thought of a good joke, but it would not be appropriate right now for sure. Any other discussion about the decal? I'm assuming we'll be wanting to vote on that, and it is on. Thank you, Cheryl. You're awesome.
And I am just kidding about the sneaking up on people. It's actually good to have it on the vehicle so people actually know who I am when I pull it up.
Budget and Finance Committee membership. We still need one person. We do have Miss before we go into that, let me tell everybody something. For the last 3 weeks, I have now identified an email system problem that I've been having. Any email that I sent from my phone or received would have worked from my phone. I was not getting them. They were going into my outbox and then dropping down into drafts and were never going out. Emails on my home computer, my laptop that I use, said that my storage was full, and that's the reason all the phones were doing what they were doing. That has been corrected. I bought more space, so if you sent me an email and didn't get a response, that may be it. Some of it could be user error too, but that was a problem. I tried to talk while I remembered who I put on there. It's
Right now, but.
Joe Sharp.
Oh, okay.
Joe Sharp.
Joe.
Joe Sharp agreed to do it.
So now it's Annette and Joe.
Annette and Joe, we still need someone else.
But Ben Hudson,
Say again?
can we ask Ben Hudson? He's in finance.
I'm all game for anyone that you think would fit well on that.
I don't think council needs to look at, for one, availability, because the last 2 scheduled meetings, nobody but myself and Joe showed up. The other thing too is, there's different areas we need to communicate with. For instance, D.R. Horton, we need to communicate with, sometimes with the state office to find out about quorum, where we at with all that. And it needs to be somebody that's available in the daytime and can make those calls. I work 6:30 to 3:30 or 4. When I get off at 4, good luck reaching anybody at the counter.
And you're very locked down during the day, aren't you, where you can't really communicate out?
My personal phone doesn't even work in my office.
Well, Ms. Neck, can I bring you up to speed on that one?
On them?
No, I don't want to hear about
I
that
don't
one.
want to hear about it.
No.
For
Maybe.
the council's purpose then, forget her, is, when in the meeting that she referred to when we were talking about some information for new construction and development, I told them I would go check, and I did, and found out that the town has not been reporting new construction building permits to Jefferson County or Tuscaloosa for ad valorem tax increases. And since then, Cheryl and I have been working diligently with both counties, maintaining information, finding the direct contacts to send information to, so that the tax process will be increasing on our ad valorem, so that we'll start getting our money when we're supposed to get it or not. We've got some we'll never get, and then we've got some that we can get ourselves into to get. But also we're dealing with one of the issues we found out is under the previous issues of annexation, we ran into see, you confused me now. Got into some issues. The tax assessor's office is not doing certain things because they didn't get enough knowledge about the judge's order from a previous situation.
So maybe George would be somebody, since he knows a lot of these business licenses, ad valorem. Maybe the council need to consider maybe putting George on, or asking George.
I can't serve.
I don't think he can serve on that.
I can't serve as an employee because it pertains to budget for my department.
Do you want to reach out to Ben, Annette? Do you mind?
I can. I need to have his contact information. I can reach out to him.
Okay.
That's-
So we got Joe Stark, Annette, and possibly Ben Hudson, and that's it.
Ben Hudson.
So I'm not on it anymore?
Oh, Ben.
Is that what you're asking? If I'm not on it, that's fine.
Yes, you're still on it. We're not taking you off.
I was just wondering, that's
I
fine
am
with me.
on all committees, whether I attend or not. The mayor's spot is.
So it's Jan and Ed, right? Okay. I think we need to add this to the agenda for the council to announce it and approve it.
Yeah, we can do that for sure. Anything else on the membership, Annette?
None business.
Not, what,
Yeah.
not membership.
Okay, we'll move on, and anything else you're welcome to talk about when we open up during the council meeting. Schedule for meetings, I think you have, did we get those? Yeah, should be inside, or they're just inside your binder if you've got one. You got the schedule for all the meetings.
I would like to address that issue.
Okay.
Scheduling of the meetings. My understanding is that the council meetings, the council meetings, the council members need to attend. And I would like to express my willingness to work with the council members. Issues come up a couple of months ago, it was last year. And so I will do everything in my power to work with people if things come up and need to change the schedule. As far as I'm concerned, it's not chiseled in stone. I think the goal of the council meeting is for the 6 council members to sit down together.
I would agree with that. At the same time, I would note that while things do happen and can happen, will happen, that keeps someone from being able to attend a meeting from time to time, that I know that on that Thursday every month, I'm going to have a council meeting. So I have a choice to either I can schedule something that takes me away from it, or something happens unexpected that takes me away from it. Whether I put enough importance on that meeting to go will affect one of those. I do my best to, it's hard for me to move meetings because I do keep this Thursday open for meetings. Again, things happen. It's happened to me. We do need to be flexible, but at the same time, we need to do everything we can do to make sure we're available for the scheduled meetings that we've committed to attend.
Well, what would be the problem for the pro temp if you can't make it to be?
There would be no problem with that.
But with one person, I guess what I'm understanding, just because one person can't make it due to an event. I missed a meeting because of my health and couldn't make it. Y'all had a meeting that night. You did not cancel it, you did not reschedule it, and you had that meeting with a quorum. So if one person is absent, that's the way the town should be run. That's why there is 6 people. You can have a quorum and have a meeting. So, am I understanding that we are only gonna have town council meetings if we're all 6 here? Is that what y'all are saying? If that is what you're saying, and one, then that needs to go on the agenda, it needs to be voted on, because that's not what we've done in the past since this was established a town and started council meetings. There's always been council meetings with a quorum.
That's why I asked if the pro tem finished their opinion, Jane.
Yes, but that's only for the mayor, and yes, it is, but just because one of us can't be here and the mayor's here on that date, you can still have a meeting. We've done it in the past.
Of course.
I was just clarifying what Tony said, because you said it is a meeting for all 6. But a meeting can be conducted with 5 or 4.
I guess, let me clarify then, since I seem to not be clear. If at all possible, I would like for all 6 of us to meet. Of course. And if that means moving a Thursday meeting to a Tuesday or a Monday or something so that we can all 6 meet, I'd like for all 6 of us to meet. Because in the past, there's been a lot said about, only 5 were here and, something got railroaded.
Well, in the mayor stated that you, I, and Nancy couldn't make it.
Let's keep it on the facts of this instead of starting,
So if at all
yes, it was a
possible,
fact. You're absolutely right, Ms. Manning.
like to
was.
schedule meetings so that all 6 of us are here and that we're all talking to each other.
I agree with that.
I think that should be for any committee meeting. Communication is the key,
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
and there was no communication with the last meeting for me, so.
Review, approve of planning and zoning documents and ordinances.
This was a carryover from a previous meeting, and I don't actually know which documents. I know that there are a good many documents that were submitted for approval so that they could be loaded onto the website, and they're hung up somewhere. They never got to the website.
Were they presented during this term or the previous one?
I've done that
Since we
yeah.
come in, okay.
Current website developer has given us multiple lists of documents that have been submitted for approval, and she's still waiting for them. Maybe we need to find those.
Yeah, we need to find those.
Since I'm on the document committee, I would like to work with Cheryl and kind of fill in, those gaps that are not, where we seem to be lacking something. I'll make a large effort to get all that cleared up.
They put too much effort into those to have them just sit and not be functional. Thank you, Nancy. Update on changing the due date on the town visa. You will remember that our due date was hitting in the middle of the month, and we were always lagging a month behind and therefore incurring late charges. I called to change the due date on the visa, and I got a response. Thought it had been changed, told it had been changed, then I get a response telling me it's going to have to be submitted in writing. So we have done that. To date, have we gotten a response telling us it was confirmed? Okay, but we did comply with the request, so we will maybe be able to tell you that it's been changed by next month. Air cards, I had that left on here so that I could explain what happened with everybody. Y'all remember that for months we've been talking about the air cards that were left on the cell phone bill, the air cards that were to run the computers. Well, I finally got an opportunity to get up there, and because they wanted to come in person, so I get up there and I have them turned off, all 4 numbers. It's late in the afternoon. The next morning, Eddie's on the phone with me telling me that none of the computers are hooking up to the Wi-Fi anymore. What actually we turned off, even though they still call them air cards on the bill. Those were actually the SIMS cards that we purchased after we put in the VRUs. That kept the Wi-Fi going in the cars. They've kept the numbers the same, and it didn't change the description. They kept it as air cards, so who would not have thought that those were the air cards? Anyway, it took about 20 minutes to turn them off, and it took 2.5 hours to get them all four turned back on, but they are back on now. And they actually had credited some money to our bill because this request had been made some time ago about turning the cards off. When I called them back to have it turned back on, they said they're just going to leave the credit there and not worry about it for our trouble. So we should see a significant credit on the next bill when we get it, although it's not deserved.
So this will be an ongoing expense?
It will be, because it's part of that, and it should be a flat fee. All four are the same, I believe, every time.
And what is that thing?
It's a fee for the Sims card, or you mean the actual fee?
Yeah, the
It's like
dollar.
$24.25.
Is that the fee that was, when I presented that, since I was on the Police Relation Committee to get approval of that,
Bill should be back.
is that SIM card what we're calling the hotspot that was saving us money from the air cards? So,
Because we were going to get it to do away with the air cards, exactly.
okay, so there's no air cards, so we're getting credit for that, but we're being charged for a SIM card.
That's right.
And it is less money than the air cards like I presented.
It was.
Okay.
It is less money, and it is the brains for, not just the Wi-Fi in the car. Without that, you can't locate the car, you can't monitor the car, you can't do anything without that SIMS card. So it is the heart of the VRU system, or ABL system. I call it VRU, it's ABL. Discretionary spending limits.
I asked for that on the agenda because we've asked several times about the mayor's spending without council approval, and it seems to continue. I've heard rumor that there is a resolution or ordinance or something somewhere that gives the mayor a discretionary spending amount, and the number I've heard was $2,000, but I've never seen it. Nobody's been able to provide it to me, and if it's an actual document that we're going to be living by, I'd like a copy of it.
The only thing that I researched that, and the only thing I came up with is in our minutes, we approved the mayor to spend up to $1,000 only on emergencies. But it was never an ordinance, never a resolution. The only thing I found was in the minutes is that we approved that he could spend up to $1,000 only on emergency, not anything else.
In your reading, did you, just for clarification to me, was it $1,000 per month or $1,000 per incident? Or we didn't specify? Okay.
Hopefully we won't have an emergency a month.
Well, the primary goal, and when Bruce advised me that that was available, the primary goal for him was to be able to repair vehicles. When a vehicle goes down, to be able to get it over there and get it fixed. That's generally good.
And I believe he only has $300 without the council's approval.
Okay.
But I'm assuming if the air condition goes out in the building, that gives you, that's what you're talking about as well, without having to
You
bring
have
it
to
in.
have a council's approval to spend anything that's not emergency.
Well, that would be an emergency.
Yeah, that would be an
Employees were sitting here with no air or heat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Filing cabinets for clerk's office. We got some locks in here with some cabinets with some locks that would not, they would not lock. The locks are completely broken off, and we need to keep documents in there that need to be locked up or required to be locked up by law. So Cheryl has found some options for us, and I'll let her go over those with you.
Several months back, the council approved up to $100 to find replacement locks for the cabinets that I have, and I went as far as calling the manufacturer of the filing cabinets, and there are no replacement locks because the cabinet is so outdated. And so I got in touch with Tuscaloosa Office Supply, and he gave me a quote for 2 filing cabinets exactly identical to the same size, whatever, that I already have. And for 2 of them is $414. He said that's good for 60 days, and I got that quote on August the 6th.
And if you want to look at that, that's behind, in the first page behind your discussions, separator. Any questions for Cheryl on that one? Moving right along. Still with Cheryl, the desk for clerks, town court and police.
Almost the same instance with the broke lock on the desk drawers where I keep the checks. And everything is packed into one drawer that does lock. And figured I'd just get a quote on just getting a new desk to make it uniform instead of having two different type desks pieced together. Same goes for the court clerk, and I went ahead and included the police clerk into the quote just to see if we can get a discount on the bulk order. And for 3 desks, set up and delivery, and it's in your packet, it's the highlight, the one that's circled that went with, and of course it's really not quite that big. There's going to be a section, the bridge won't be in it. But for 3 desks, total setup and delivery is $2,466.
Well, if we're getting filing cabinets, can you not put some stuff in the filing cabinet?
I would not want to put checks in there, but
Until we have a budget and finance,
I probably could.
yeah.
But, whatever the council agrees to let me do, or,
Because we haven't had a meeting and we haven't had a report every 6 months like we're supposed to be getting. I would just like to have what we need to work with.
New phones for town hall.
You broke the phones too?
No,
Camera.
the issue with the phones is like,
The lot doesn't work.
we have call waiting on the phone, but we can't answer the incoming call. And so therefore, we get complaints that nobody's answering the phone at town hall, or, what's going on, and, people get irate, and I understand their frustration, but understand our frustration too. When we're on a phone call, we hear it beeping, but we can't answer it. Even if we put it on hold and we hit that same line, we just picking up the same phone call, we just put on hold. And I put this information in here. I spoke with this company because they work well with B-Tech, whom we have our server and stuff through, that they charged by the handset, not by rates of how many phone calls you make or anything like that. And they maintain them for a lifetime. If one dies, in his quote, I'll send you a coffin to put the old one in and we'll mail you a new one. But they'll come in and set them up and everything. And we can also have it to where, like our phone number, or to town hall phone number, me and Carol share that number. But they can have it set up to where that number can roll over to 4 different phones. The reason why I say 4 is because of George, me, Carol, and the mayor. We can also have an option set up on it free to where town clerk press 1, building inspector press 2, and it'll bring the phone on their desk as to who they want to speak to. And same goes with the police department upstairs.
Do we have a voicemail so that?
Yeah, it'll all be set up with voicemail and everything. Because right now I'm getting the police department's voicemails on my phone.
What is the cost on that? $2?
I remember seeing it, but not remember. Hang on, I got it right somewhere in here. The initial setup, and that's including the cost for porting our number away from Comcast, and that includes the fax number too, over and everything, even though we already have a fax machine. They'll just port the number over. The setup will be $827.50, but then the total monthly cost after all that will be $267.50.
What do we pay now?
$245 for Comcast, and that includes internet, phone, and I think the TV or something, I'm not sure.
Did you check to see how much the Comcast bill will go down when we drop the phone?
About $150.
So net, we're looking at the,
117.
What TV?
We have a TV that they can monitor weather.
It's not.
And also, I don't have a phone,
And George needs his phone.
I have to go sit in either at Carol's desk or Cheryl's desk and interfere with their work while I'm trying to talk on the phone because there's no, I don't have one in my office. And, so when that comes in, they obviously answer, but then they can't transfer to me. I have to go actually interfere with their workstation.
So this is just a total upgrade of the system.
Yes, ma'am.
With the net increase in cost of about $117.
And 50 cents. Any other discussion about the new phones? Okay. Not to move away from Cheryl, we'll stay with her and talk about speech recognition software.
Well, you sure are needy.
I'm not needing. It's just the recorder thing that will help with doing the minutes and keeping things more uniform and less mistakes. And especially during public comment. I love the public, but we have some long winders and it's hard to keep up sometimes.
Did you put it on a laptop, desktop, how do you?
Plug it into the computer, it comes off of the recorder and then the program goes on the computer and it just picks up everything and dictates it. I'll have to make some minor corrections and stuff, but other than that.
But you would still use your.
Yes.
recorder.
And I put 2 quotes in there and it's not cheap, but, one with the actual company is $300, but I think it was 300. And the one with Office Depot, no, with the company, you'd have to pay shipping and processing. And it would probably take several weeks to get here. With Office Depot, you get free delivery, free shipping, and it's $306, but you get it in 2 days.
And it's a one-time purchase.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you used one before?
Long time ago.
Then you know a little bit about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions about the speech recognition software?
I think we ready to vote on it.
Probably on the agenda.
Yes.
It is. All right, let's move into the consent agenda. There's quite a bit on it, but we have been away for a while.
What about
There's, now, C, the uniforms, those are, what did he get on? He got in a tussle with somebody that had blood hepatitis in it.
Somebody attempted suicide, they stabbed themselves in the throat, and later on he found out that that person had hepatitis C.
And he was covered
He
with
had
blood.
blood all over his uniform.
That was Officer Birch or Officer Robertson?
That was Officer Ross.
What about him? What is that all about without the council's approval?
That is meeting with Mr. Thornton that he wanted to, and plans to give the town a piece of property back here behind the fire hall. And what was the rest of that discussion about, George?
Well, there's a discussion about property for the future or to expand the septic tank.
That's right,
That was
septic
done,
tank.
as well as discussion was made about putting final coats down on some of the streets, which are, some of them are in bad need of repairs, and he's been trying to repair them, but they just keep pushing them out.
Keeps coming back up. He's wanting to put the final coat on and work with us to set up another bond through D.R. Horton, because Thornton is on his way out. He's about to cut bait and get out of here. So he's wanting to put the final cap on all the roads that he's got, and then help us facilitate an agreement with D.R. Horton to do the same for the remaining roads moving forward.
Okay, so if Thornton is wanting to donate a piece of land, I don't understand why we're getting this from Hager.
Well, Hager was here to talk about the septic. to talk about the roads, the capping the roads.
And that discussion, Mayor, was also to be whether it was to be a donation of the land or recorded easement to be able to use the property. And so there was a discussion about what would be in the best interest for both parties and which way that property would have to be
That's
worked
right.
out.
Has that been resolved?
That was the last communication I had with the project. Last time I talked to Keith, there had not been a conclusion to any kind of agreement.
As to the property, I missed the question, yeah. That's,
Hasn't been resolved, it's still pending discussion.
I talked to Bill as recently as this afternoon, and that's being worked out. There's attorneys involved, so you know it's gonna take a while. Any other questions on the consent? Minutes? Had a few minutes to read. Anybody got any additions or corrections?
We have one correction, minor thing, is, council meeting minutes on 6/18.
6:18.
Council, you said?
Yeah, council.
As long as you-
And look on page 4, item C. That was not a new vehicle, that was a repair.
Item C.
Huh?
It says new vehicle for police department discussion held. It's not a new vehicle, it's a repair.
Tahoe is far from me.
No, but the discussion was for new vehicles, but a motion was made just to, repair.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Wow. Any other additions or corrections for the minutes? All right, we'll get down to the departments. We'll start with George. May have to make him last now, but we'll start with George.
Put a timer on. That's quick, all you have a copy of the report. Obviously, we had 57 building and miscellaneous permits have been issued over the last 2.5 months. I've had 152 scheduled inspections. We've been able to collect over $15,000 in permit fees. It's actually 15,300 or something, 400. And then, of course, obviously I visit new construction sites. We've got 3 new sites going on in the $1 Million Lake side, along with some other minor clearing sites. And then, of course, obviously I have to check on miscellaneous complaints from different people now that the more they know that I'm out here, the more people contact the office asking certain questions, and I have to go check on different things for them. Our daily, my daily inspections with new development, which is actually, sites that require silt fencing and stuff. I do not require them to call me daily to go look at their stuff. I actually take the time to go around and verify, especially after rain events, to make sure that silt fencing is in place, it has not been knocked down, or if we have a rain event and somewhere that shows that there's runoff that needs to be taken care of, then I request additional fencing to protect the adjoining property owners. An update on our pending court cases. I had 3 cases in the court. 3 cases were found guilty. The 2 chicken cases, as well as the business license operations were out. And of course, obviously, fees or dues or whatever they collect, court fees will be being collected. During this time, we've had 2 variances since we actually put the board together again. Both variances been reviewed and approved by the variance board of adjustments, and I think they're doing a good job in reviewing and making sure that these things are being done properly. And then I've issued 6 stop work orders during the last couple months where contractors were doing work that had not been properly inspected or business license and permits had not been issued. But all cases have been resolved through the necessary process.
Thank you, George.
Hey, before we go on, I have a quick question. Going back to that minutes, we approved the repair on that fire hose up to $2,100. And I'm assuming it's been repaired. We haven't had a meeting since then, but there's nothing on the agenda about the cost of that repair.
There was a lot of rainfalls I had.
But it
One,
hasn't been
it has been
repaired.
repaired, it was
One of them came out and went right back in,
the same one,
the same one.
because of the brake issue.
That's right.
I can provide that information to you, Tony.
Any other questions for George? All right, police department, Eddie?
For the month of July, we had 3 arrests on warrants, 106 dispatch calls, 2 drug arrests, 6 false alarm calls, 4 felony arrests, 25 incident offense reports, drove 5,597.7 miles, 6 non-traffic citations, 5 other arrests, 51 outside agency assists, for 47 citations and 4 traffic accidents. For August, we had 4 arrest warrants, 76 dispatch calls, 4 drug arrests, 5 false alarm calls, 1 felony arrest, 12 incident offense reports, drove 6,717.2 miles, 10 non-traffic citations, 1 other arrest, 51 outside agency assist, 57 tickets, and 4 traffic accidents. We got a couple of things for you. For one, I'm working with AT&T on a deal called FirstNet. Federal government wants everybody to be compliant to what's called interoperability. That's where all agencies can talk to all agencies. FirstNet is one leg of that goes through AT&T, it's on their cell phone. If one agent comes through, knocks out the tower, knocks out service to it, whatever, first responders are the first ones back on the system. We can call FirstNet, we can have them bring out a portable tower if they have to get us back in service. I'm also talking to them about putting a emergency generator on the tower on top of the mountain at Lakeview Drive. Because every time the power gets knocked out over there, we lose cell service. So I've got a meeting, and any of the council members are welcome to attend on 18th, 4 o'clock, FirstNet. It's an hour before court. Usually, that's when I have a departmental meeting, but we'll conduct this meeting. Best thing for the town, other than better cell service, my cell phone, the mayor's cell phone, and Carol's cell phone, they consider us first responders. But even though he's the mayor and she's court reporter, court. What's your position? Court clerk. She may have to, come in and get paperwork done for a search warrant, whatever, while the system's down. The mayor has to make decisions. He's got to have a cell phone. But it's going to knock our phone bill in half, which is going to be good.
Just the cell phone portion of the bill?
Right. And they're looking to see if they can get a better deal on the SIM cards and police cars. Because we have to have a computer, we got to have a Wi-Fi. Going along with the interoperability, I applied last month, wrote a grant, and applied for it. $44,398.68 for 6 portable radios. The last portables we got cost $1,500 a piece. These are, I think, about 6,000. And it's because the federal government is putting so many restrictions and requirements on them. And these radio companies see they can get money out of it. I've applied for a grant. Hopefully, we're supposed to know something, I think, by the end of this month. And there again is almost $45,000. The mayor asked me to get quotes on body cameras, which I'm 110% for. It's for the safety of officers and for the town. Everybody's got video cameras now. If you watch a lot of videos on TV, you're only going to see half of what actually happened.
And the council, if I can interrupt you for a moment, the council doesn't realize how often people will complain about police officers saying or doing something to them because they've gotten a ticket or because something else has gone wrong. The cameras take out all of the he said, she said, and for a reasonable price, you have documented proof of what exactly happened and was said or done.
The highest quote I got was $30,000.
It gets better, y'all.
That's 5 units, 5 cameras. That was through Motorola. The best price I got was about $1,500 for 5 units.
Do they record or do they transmit to
They
something
record.
that records?
They record, and we'll have to come up with a way of storing the video, which is not that big of a deal.
The really nice feature is that they record, once they hit the button to make it record, it's constantly recording and re-recording over what it's doing. But once they hit a button, it backs up 60 seconds to that film and keeps it. So if they've already gotten in a little bit of a tussle before they realize they need to record something, they hit that button, it's actually still there too.
Right. It's definitely saved the town some money on lawsuits and all that. Also, with the new year coming up, new fiscal year, working budget for the police department, I would love to see passed. It's tough on us when something happens tomorrow, and I've got to wait 30 days for a council meeting to come in and ask permission to go buy something. We need a budget that we can work off of. It doesn't cover salaries or anything like that, vehicles, or vehicle maintenance or anything. It's basically just bare minimum.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you.
Okay, back to Cheryl. Oh, court clerk, my bad. Carol.
I'm gonna start with June. Started off with $56,302.30. We deposited $6,989.31. We withdrew $7,447.85. We ended up with $55,843.76. July, we started off with $55,843.76. We deposited $8,784.50. We withdrew $6,617.70, and we ended up with a balance of $58,010.56. August. We started off with a balance of $58,010.56. We deposited $5,129.96. We withdrew $6,258.16, and now we have a balance of $56,882.36.
The new payment software working out for you the way you wanted it to?
No, yeah. I would like to request a computer for the desk for the judge. So if I'm up there or Cheryl's up there, it can be, if anything needs to be looked at real quick, it can be looked up. Saves a lot of time. Do you agree, Cheryl?
It can be just a simple little laptop.
Laptop can go up there. We used to have one years ago.
An iPad wouldn't work? Would an iPad work?
Don't know if the court management system is
Damn,
functional on the iPad.
Yeah, I don't have enough RAM. Any questions for Carol?
Well, what happened to the laptop that we
That was the
had
old
for the
police
building?
department's laptop. It's one of the very first ones.
That we had for the building inspector,
That's a tablet.
tablet?
Mhm.
It won't work.
It wouldn't be strong enough to run the software.
Okay.
Any other questions for Carol? Thank you, Carol.
Think we ought to put that on the agenda.
Yeah, there's 3 things I'm asking. Everybody put on the agenda, and that's one. Town clerk.
All right, in June, started out with $323,553.73. Paid out $51,832.05. Deposited $30,351.56. Ending balance $302,703.24. Moving on to July. Paid out $26,809.04, deposited $22,657.99, left us a balance of $297,922.19. And this page, August, paid out $40,564.51, deposited $22,723.24, ending balance $280,080.92. And from the savings account for months June, July, and August, there's been no change. Beginning balance, $252,730.05.
Any questions for Cheryl?
How often is the interest credited to the same?
Quarterly, yes. That was done on the June meeting.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Cheryl? All right, and the next one brings me up to the first thing I'd like to make an addition to the agenda for the council meeting is, we all have a letter about the attorney. Does anyone object to putting the attorney search back on the agenda under new business, I assume? Any objections?
That'd be letter F.
That'd be letter F. Do we want to make computer for the court G? And finally, Mr. and Ms. Parker have asked to be placed on the agenda to speak to the council.
Mr. and Ms. Porter?
Mr. and Mrs. Parker.
Parker?
I have several things I'd like to add as well.
Going to be on the public speaker.
Yeah, I think let's put it as C under 3, under public speakers, and let them go and talk. Parker,
As far as the public speakers, I'm sure y'all received the email, we're taking off the students from Brookwood.
Yeah.
Okay. Will they go before or after Mr. Brown?
Double after. All right. Any objections to those additions? No, we need a majority of the council.
You're going to add the Budget and Finance Committee nominees as well.
Yeah, new
Okay.
business.
Under old business,
Old business, the old
That'd be
business.
B.
I'd also like to add C, which is the resolution 71, whatever that address council. I'll find it. 71, 12, 14, 17. To address that.
Now, what did that resolution address?
Committee appointments.
Where is that resolution?
It's not in the package, it's not in the bottom. She just added it.
Okay,
I can go make a copy of it. Please?
I want time to consider it for sure, so I need a copy of it before I'll agree to put it on the budget, on the agenda.
Also like to add, number 8, old business, mayor strip,
The what now?
mayor strip expenses.
That's for the resolution.
Yes, discretionary spending.
Is that another one, or is that maybe? And what was it?
That would be
Discretionary spending. We had talked in the workshop about documents and forms, I'd like to add that, after old business. I'd also like to add, employee training requirements.
Number 9, new business.
And that's something we've addressed in the past, we just don't.
Is that still, would that be, you're saying that'd be F under,
That would be G.
or G, F, G, oh, okay, I'm sorry.
What was the name of it?
Training requirements for
Training.
I'd also like to address, under old business, cost of what we're spending for supplies. And, don't know if this would be new business or old business, but, financial reports and employee evaluations.
That would be old business.
What are you going to discuss? Unemployed.
Not anymore.
Okay. Because I was going to say, did you need to put that together and pass it on
Is that aye?
I think that would be, I'd probably be under new business.
to new age under new business?
What would you call it?
Which one, training requirements?
Mr. Mayor, I've got one more thing. I'd like council, if they will, to consider bringing Officer Birch full-time, since we're losing an officer, bring our part-time officer full-time. Last time I talked to him, he's willing to do it.
Oh, you got me.
Let's add that as I on new business.
It's gonna work out good. He can give his current employee 2 weeks. Joel's giving us 2 weeks. They just kind of swap places.
Birch.
Just
So you're going to do that under 9, new business?
Yes.
That would be I.
So that's somebody go back and tell the clerk what all the others.
Y'all go ahead, I'll catch up. I'll cheat off next.
It was put under 9F.
I would like to know if I'm still on the police relations committee or not, and what was that going on?
Yes.
And old business?
It was resolution.
Oh, it's that under, that's what it is now.
Does anyone have any concerns about adding the resolution, discussion about the resolution on old or unfinished business as item C?
I'm sorry, say that again, I was in thought for something else.
Does anyone have any issue adding this review of this resolution, 71, 12, 14, 17, as item C?
Not having whether I am or not.
Yeah.
I also mentioned in an email that I sent to the council that I was going to make a motion to reimburse the rental fee to the people that rented the building but had to cut the hedges before they could use the building, and I still am going to make that motion. So, whole business, let's call it new.
I have a question. I know we do departments and we don't do committees, but since we are getting close to the budget, do we may not discuss that sometimes in workshop? Budget and finance? I mean, I think it would be where we could get some idea of something instead of just a report, because I think other council members might have questions, I don't know. I just think it maybe needed to be added to monthly there.
We could do it.
I have no reservation about that at all.
As we're approaching the new year, I think we need to have some budget meetings.
Oh, I do too, but I think it needs to be brought up here. I mean, we can get a report up there, but we don't discuss anything after a report. So I think that needs to be started. We can either get a report tonight, or we can start putting it on our agenda for workshops so we have that. I mean, budget is very important since we want to spend a lot of money.
Well, let me make this statement. The new budget goes in effect October 1st. We don't even have a draft version. So as of October 1st, we don't have a budget.
Hey, no problem at all with that. Workshop agenda.
Sounds like we need to have.
You got it, are you finished?
Within the month.
I want to add item K, if there's no objection, I'd like to add item K as the, in a new business, the body cameras for the police department. We'll certainly do that. Let's, in that vein, we'll strike it for now. Come prepared to talk about it next council meeting.
Which one? I'm sorry?
The one we just put on body cameras.
Oh, okay.
Can I ask a question about
Please.
committee members for budget and finance?
Please.
I'd like to know if, for whatever reason, you can attend the meeting, can the committee still meet?
Yes.
And if,
So as long as I have a quorum,
You don't have to have a quorum.
well, it's been just George and I, so can we call it a committee meeting?
You can still
Well, I'm just
meet.
not on the committee.
Yeah.
So it's by myself.
You don't get very far when you're the only person on the committee showing up, do you?
I don't know, which other meeting did I miss?
Last one that was on the calendar for the, I think it was the
That-
24th or 25th. That
You were
was,
here at the next meeting, the next night.
Yes, and you text me afterwards, and I text you back, it totally slipped my mind, and I just pulled up at home from work. That's the only, is
we
that
have two
not?
back to back. We have
Okay, well
one
then,
in between, and then we have the one that's always on the third, whatever it is.
Has Joe not attended a single meeting?
Council Bruce, she has been approved. If Ben will not commit, you can place it on there.
Anything else before we adjourn to move up to the council bench?
You can want to be placed on the budget.
If you have to take a very quick break, please do.
It's not my fault.